Hello, kiddos. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for following directions and watching this video lesson. Much appreciated. Okay, so this is Geoscience for February the 11th and 14th, depending on which class you are in. We're going to be covering feedback loops today, okay? So that's just me telling you some information in class. Admin, possibly being to observe, but I also wanted to give you guys some familiarity with who they are, because I know we've had some new additions. So Miss Level is our principal, head principal. Then you have Mr. Rickards, who you guys have seen around. He's like 6'5" or something. Then you have Mr. Isaacs. He's over athletics. You have you guys knew her as Miss Callisto, but now she is Miss Segori. As you can see, she's over activities and graduation. Then you have Miss Collins, who is over attendance. Miss Toner is newer to Sierra Vista. She moved up here from California. She's over discipline. And then you have Miss Smith, who is my supervisor, and she is over curriculum. So again, just wanted you guys to be familiar with your admin team here at Sierra Vista. Alright, so feedback loops, that is what we are going to be talking about today. And they are a very important concept in science and important for the survival of our species. Remember, as I told you guys, Earth's going to be around a long time after we are gone. It is in our best interest to be responsible for ourselves and our own behavior as a species so that we ensure we can survive as long as we can, okay? So first question I have for you guys, and I may or may not ask this in class because it's kind of funny. Have you ever had to pee really, really bad, urinate, pee, go to the bathroom, and couldn't go, and you just had to sit there and hold it, okay? Yeah, that's a bummer when that happens. So what would happen if you just did not go to the bathroom at all, okay? So this video, I'm not going to play it all the way through, but you guys can watch it if you're interested. I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but it's pretty funny. Talks about what would happen if you stopped peeing. And basically what ends up happening is, let me see, after 9 days, you die, okay? So what am I getting at with this? Well, now we're going to flip it to the other side and say what happens when you urinate, when you pee, just like you should on a regular basis. Well, as you guys know, you drink water, goes into your system, gets filtered, helps your body out, then you urinate out. Okay, it's like a cycle, all right? A regular repeating cycle. So what is the first one? An extreme example of if you put a bunch of water in and you don't let it go out. And then the second one where you let it cycle through, okay? So what's the difference between these two scenarios, okay? Well, they're kind of like negative and positive feedback loops, all right? And what I'm getting at with this, and pay attention to this because it can be kind of confusing, at least in my view of the way it's labeled. Well, a negative feedback loop is here on the left. As you will see, the equilibrium kind of goes up and down, okay? It is homeostasis. It is balanced, okay? It is very balanced. Think of it as like you drink water and you urinate just like you're supposed to, okay? Your system stays in balance and you just keep moving, you keep living, right? Okay? Well, that is a negative feedback loop, all right? Now, on the right, as you can see, let's just say that you drink a lot of water and you never urinate, and as we saw in the video, you die after 9 days, okay? Like, so this is your bladder getting more full and your bladder burst and all that urine goes into your internal organs, and all of a sudden it just keeps going extreme. In other words, it doesn't stay level. You don't maintain homeostasis. It gets extreme and you die, okay? That's like a positive feedback loop. I would think that would be labeled negative, but it is not in science. It is a positive feedback loop, okay? So think of a positive feedback loop as the exponent keeps getting more positive. In negative, it just kind of maintains homeostasis, okay? Hopefully that kind of makes sense. All right, so have any of you ever been to Australia? maybe not yet. I went and worked in Australia for a while in Alice Springs. I was a pizza cook there. I love that country. It's a great place. But here is an example of what I would consider to be a positive feedback loop when things get extreme, okay?
To be living every day with mice just makes you feel dirty.
There's been a constant, it hasn't let up. The ground just moves nicely.
There's just no escaping them.
This one would be probably the worst mouse plague I've ever been through. I've been through 3 others over the years. Hay in the hay shed, there's probably $50,000-$60,000 on them. Grain stored in big plastic bags. They've eaten them and ruined them. Everywhere they can go, they'll go. A lot of households have lost fridges and microwaves and all that, where they've got in and chewed wiring.
So basically what's going on here is what I would consider a big negative feedback loop, okay? So as it says here, after years of dry conditions, basically due to the climate warming, dry conditions, mice are thriving, okay? So after the wildfires and a lot of dry conditions, a lot of the predators that would eat mice have died off. Well, due to that, the mice have multiplied like crazy, and now you have all of these mice just going nuts in Australia. I mean, they're just everywhere, okay? And they're just eating everything. So basically what's going to happen is you have this plague of mice, and they're going to eat everything, and it is like, think of it as the extreme, like you don't ever pee. It just keeps getting exponentially worse, okay? So think of it like that. It is a positive feedback loop. That exponent keeps getting worse, okay? All right, so that is one example of it. Another thing that I could use to illustrate this would be asking you guys who's looking forward to summer break, okay? I know I always look forward to summer break, and you guys do too, all right? And next question, how would you feel about going to school 7 days a week, year-round? I think I know the answer to that, okay? I wouldn't want to teach 7 days a week, year-round, okay? Do you guys need time off to balance your mind? Of course you do, okay? And I need time off to balance my mind as well. And so I agree with you guys on this. Don't push me down the stairs, okay? I'm not advocating for school 7 days a week, year-round, okay? But there are places where they have tried to do that, where they want to have school year-round. The scheduling is a little bit different, but there's other places where they have 4-day school weeks. All right, so what am I getting at with this? All right, well, I'm saying, notice I say, do you need time off to balance your mind? In other words, you go to school and then you need time off, okay? So that balance that we're talking about, that's kind of like a negative feedback loop. Think of it, like I said, it stays in equilibrium, okay? Stays in a balance. So if you took the mouse plague we were talking about, if the drought and wildfires hadn't happened and wiped out a lot of the predators, you would have had those predators eating a lot of the mice, and the mice and the predator population stay in balance. So that is like an example of a negative feedback loop, okay? So just like this, they stay around this fine mean or median. So negative feedback loop, kind of like this. They just stay in a fine median, okay? They maintain homeostasis. All right, so what I need you guys to pay attention to now within the cycles of the Earth and life on Earth, you're going to find lots of different positive and negative feedback loops, okay? So not all positive feedback loops are bad. This would be an example of a negative feedback loop, like the atmospheric circulation, the water cycle. Think of water evaporating, coming down as snow, then draining, going into the river. It's just a regular cycle, right? Okay. A positive feedback loop that is not good would be like the Amazon forest being burned, or a lot of wildfires where you have more carbon dioxide being released into the environment, and over the long run it makes your climate warm, okay? So we can get into the chemistry of all of that later if you guys are interested in that, okay? So again, not all positive feedback loops are bad. So an example of positive feedback, I'm sure a lot of you guys have eaten apples, okay? Well, apples ripening, if you think of it, when one apple ripens, it causes a positive feedback loop, and it gets all the other apples around it to ripen as well. Okay, so that is where that exponent goes up. You have a positive feedback loop of all the apples ripening. So again, that is a natural process in nature. So not all positive feedback loops are bad, okay? So for us as a species, key idea we want to look at is that we as a species, since we are the dominant species on the planet at the moment, we have a responsibility not to disrupt the feedback loops of the planet, which maintain homeostasis, which allows us to survive. Okay, so think of that. That's kind of the big idea that we're looking at here. Okay, so if we do interrupt some of these feedback loops, unfortunately, it's going to disrupt a lot of the cycles on the planet, and the planet will no longer be livable for us. We will die off, and the Earth will evolve and move forward without us, okay? So you have your four major spheres here: hydrosphere, atmosphere, biosphere, and lithosphere. You could also call that the geosphere. But feedback loops in nature, they are a very intricate network. But I will have you guys look at that a little more in the modules, okay, for a video. So what I need you guys to do for today, you should be watching this video in this module, which I'll have up here. But then you are going to watch another video, the one I just showed you, and then you're just going to go through these modules. So an important thing, this one right here is just a simple, you read some information, take a quiz. This one right here, you're going to watch another short video, answer a few questions on it, or write a few concerns you have. This last one right here, reason I have you guys do a lot of poster projects is because not only are you reading the information, but then you are drawing it, coloring it. That gives all of my kinesthetic learners and my textile learners and my visual learners a lot more cues, okay? Sorry, auditory learners, it doesn't work out as well for you, but gives you a lot more input into what you're doing and hopefully helps you learn the material better, all right? So for this one right here, where it says Spears of the Earth poster project, what I'm going to have you do is you are going to go to a link, read an article, and then you are going to draw a poster, just like I have you guys do all the time, okay? But this is just an example here. I probably can't see it too well. All you're going to do is draw, you can just put a symbol if you want, of each one of the four spheres. For instance, draw a leaf and label it as the biosphere, and then write the definition of the biosphere. Draw your leaf, color your leaf green, or whatever color you want to color it. Label it as the biosphere. That represents the biosphere. That's your symbol. Draw the definition under it, okay? For the geosphere or lithosphere, whichever one you want to call it, in medical terminology, lith means like stone. But anyway, you can draw a rock. That's perfectly fine. Draw a rock, color it. That's your symbol of the lithosphere or geosphere. And then label it, lithosphere, geosphere, whatever you want to label it. Then write the definition of it, okay? You're going to do that for your four spheres, okay? And then you are going to take a photo of it with either your Chromebook camera or your phone, and you are going to upload it into the assignment, okay? It is not a group assignment. You have to do your own individual poster, okay? So that is what you guys need to do for today. If you have any questions, I will be around to help you. Let me know. All right, thank you, and have a good weekend.